Hello, and welcome to Marketplace with Charles. Brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you. I am Charles Ngobeni. On Marketplace, we aim to empower, encourage, and equip you with the right tools that you need to move closer to you achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we bring you insight from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith, but also from all people in all walks of life. Coming up in today's show, we speak to an architect and property business owner. Going through her profile, you learn one thing about her. She's an epitome of persistence and perseverance. And these are the virtues that are extremely important for anyone who wants to succeed in life. My guest has spent years developing herself to what she is today. And if you pay special attention, you will learn more on how slippery the ladder that she was climbing to the top was. Welcome, Felicia Ogbonna, with me in your home today. Felicia, we're here at Marketplace with Charles.
Yes.
Last week you shared us your journey.
Yes.
Which was highly challenging.
Yes.
But by God's grace, you succeeded.
Yes.
Because you are born of the seed of Abraham.
That's it.
And you are wired for success.
Yes.
And your faith in God is all that kept you
Yes.
going.
Yes.
And today you are sitting here as the most successful architect.
Yes.
Most probably in South Africa and in Nigeria, amongst all the women.
Yes.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much, Charles, for having me again. And a good day to all our viewers.
In the short time that we have,
Yeah.
we want to inspire the viewers.
Okay.
Just for the sake of those who missed last week's episode,
Yes.
do you mind to tell us who you are and where you come from?
Yes. My name is Felicia Ogbonna. I have a master's degree in architecture. And we own a construction company and an architectural consultancy company. We have been involved in several projects over the years, both in Nigeria and in South Africa, basically. I'm a woman of God. I have 2 kids. I'm married to one man. Love him to bits. And that is basically a roundup of it. My company name is called Bonner Design House. The Design House part of it is a German word which stands for design house. Mm-hmm. We will take care of you. You just give us the brief, and you can leave the rest to us.
Tell me, your job as an architect,
Yes.
what does it entail?
Okay, well, basically, architecture is a professional course, mm-hmm. which you need to spend a minimum of 7 years in the university. Anywhere in the world.
7 years?
7 years.
Just like a medical doctor.
Yes. 7 years, anywhere in the world. That is the minimum you will have to spend after matric. Mm-hmm. And this is what it consists of. It's actually a mixture of art and science. The science being that you're building structures that people will live in, mm-hmm. so you cannot afford it to collapse. And the art of it is you're an Imagineer. You know, people, your clients or whoever it is that you're designing for, they know what they want to use the spaces for, mm-hmm. but it's your job as the architect to translate this dream or their wishes into a form. So a basic thing that an architect would do is get a brief from a client. I want 2 bedrooms, I want a mansion, listen to them. You come up with what is called a concept proposal. And it could be in form of a 3-dimensional image mm-hmm. of what you're thinking of. And the client looks at it. If they approve it and they're happy with it, the next thing that you do is you proceed to the next phase, which is called the construction documentation drawings. That is when you put dimensions now, mm-hmm. and all the other information, the electrical, the structural comes in. And once that is done, you proceed for approval at the council. Approval is gotten, then we go to the site mobilization phase, where now we're about to do the actual execution of the project. So it's in 3 phases. It is design, construction documentation, supervision, and delivery. That's basically what you would be doing as an architect. But now, what are the attributes you need to be an architect? I would not lie to you. You must be ready to work hard. Architecture is not for the faint-hearted, because even in school, we are taught all over the world, because you have proposals and deadlines, you will not sleep enough, and it is a mixture of so many things. But if you're art inclined, you like to draw, you like to create things, that will probably be the best profession for you. But one aspect that you cannot do without is the science part of it. You need to be good in mathematics, physics. You need to be able to understand the structures. So those are the little attributes that you need to have, apart from, being a little bit eclectic. You shouldn't be a conformist, because you're in the creative world. So that's basically what will be expected of an architect and what you need to proceed in that direction.
That sounds like a lot of hard work.
Yes, it is.
And at the same time, you still have your family together.
Yes.
Which is highly successful.
Yes.
You're a mother.
I am a mother.
And you had challenges as well.
Yes.
That we spoke about in our last episode.
Yes.
In all these things combined together.
Yes.
Tell me, how do you keep your eye on the ball?
Okay. I think it's all based on desire. What drives us is really what we want to achieve. I introduced myself in the last episode as a wife, because without my husband, I would not have kids. So he's priority. And then secondly, my kids. I have been able to, earlier on, when my kids were much younger, marry work with homework,
Work and homework.
Yes.
Okay.
I would do my schedule in such a way that when they're in school, I do as much as I can, even on site, when I'm doing site supervision. I drop them at school, go to the site. When it's about 2 o'clock to pick them, I leave site, go home, sit with the homework. Once it's about 4, I go back to site, close for the day. Because at the end of the day, if I succeed in a career and my kids are suffering or my family is suffering, I still have not succeeded. So you must realize that the priority is your family. We're running around and trying to be successful primarily to take care of them, to have a good home. So it is important for me to be there for my kids and my husband first before any other thing.
We work for our families.
Yes, we do. We work for our families.
So you may make as much money as you can,
but
if you fail to take that money and use it for a family and for a family success, you're a failure.
That's it. And be there for them. They're two different things. You can make a lot of money and then give it to them, but then you're not physically present.
You're not present.
That's it. I flew in from New York yesterday because my daughter was graduating. And I said, I was there.
Can't miss it.
I cannot miss it. It's not negotiable. Today is my son's birthday, so I have to be there. And once that is done, we move on to work again. So you prioritize your family, and that's my own position, and it has worked for me.
You also own part of the real estate.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes. Yeah, the real estate, I'm someone that always likes to drive myself. I don't wait for someone to come and assess me. I assess myself. And that is the way you can develop yourself for the next level. A lot of us want to be patted in the back. Oh, you're doing so well, you're doing so well. But you never take time to look back and see, okay, where are the areas I need to improve upon? And I realized, I said, okay, we've been building, we've been designing, but there's a part of the building industry, which is the real estate industry. That is the selling, the rental. How do you get into that without being overburdened? Because even with architecture, I'm already overburdened. So I said, this is what I'm going to do. I went into a company, registered as a real estate intern real estate agent, did all the NQF4 portfolio programs, NQF5 portfolio programs, to get all the knowledge that I would. The reason there was this. When we finish building, we usually hand over the buildings to the realtors.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and okay, we have built for 6-7 months, and all our supervision fees, it comes to like 10%. Then the realtor is given this property for 6 months or 3 months, and they get 10% as well. You know, so it was fascinating for me, as in, how do I expand my income base? And that was the first reason why I went into real estate. Now, in the real estate industry, you realize the areas where you have the potential in terms of income. And it has greatly affected my architecture. Because now, when I'm with a client and someone says, I want to build a home, let me give you an example in Pretoria, in a very fancy place. I tell them, do not forget to make sure that within that home, you have an income property. Do not leave on a huge plot of land, only paying bills, without having some kind of, if it's a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom, that you can make income from. And that's what that's how real estate has helped, because now we place tenants, we know where you have quick returns, a good. If you wanted to invest in property now, I would advise you, take a 2-bedroom. You can never go wrong. Because most people in that market of the 2-bedroom want to rent. If you go to the 7-bedroom threshold, you will most likely not get tenants consistently, because anyone that can afford to rent a 3-bedroom can buy. You know, so
And they find it cheaper to buy than to rent.
That's it. You know, so that's how we went into that market space, the real estates. We just added that. So we have properties that we are managing for our clients. So we build, we design, we build, and once we're done building, we can sell for you, or we can manage it, place tenants in.
I think on that note, we need to take a short break. We'll come back with my guest, Felicia, to inspire you more.
Thank you.
You don't want to miss the last part of what she has to say to you. Welcome to Marketplace with Charles. You are still watching a great show. And I am sitting here with Felicia.
Thank you.
Felicia, you are really inspirational.
Thank you.
Especially as a woman.
Thank you.
Who is, in a traditional way to say, doing what is usually called the man's job.
Yes.
Although it's not necessarily the man's job.
Yeah.
But it's something that men used to do.
Yes.
And you play in that space.
Yes.
And you play it well.
Thank you.
Let's look into your architectural business
Yeah.
and your real estate business.
Yes.
How far are you prepared to spread your wings?
Okay. That is one of the best questions. This is something that I dream about.
Yes.
Every day.
So you are a dreamer.
Yes, I am.
And dreams do come true.
Yes.
Okay.
I look at a brand like Apple, and it is not based on color, it's not based on race, it's based on performance and quality. And I realize that whenever you deliver, then you can break the barriers of race and color. So this is my dream. When I look at this company and see how far God has brought me from, I am extremely grateful. Because you cannot look forward without looking back.
Yeah.
It hasn't been by power, by might so far, because by his divine connection, it has made it look as though I had it all planned out. I didn't. It was just God's grace connecting me here and there, connecting the dots, and today it looks beautiful. But this is just the beginning of my journey. I see myself and our company within the next few years. A lot of times when I walk through streets like Santon, I walk streets like New York and LA, and I see really tall buildings, I look up and I say, God, if you can do this for these people, you can do it for us as well. Give us the capacity, give us the endurance, give us the wherewithal and the men to do it. Because human resources is one crucial factor in building any kind of organization. So our dreams are huge. We are hoping, on my last trip, we were able to get signed off with a company in Las Vegas where we will be Philippine houses. We're starting with little houses. Because when you start small, then you can learn the ropes easily with lesser risks.
There's nothing wrong in starting small.
Yes, nothing wrong.
You look at David and Goliath.
Yes.
The stone that David had
Yeah.
was so small.
Yes.
You look at the two mites, which made a farthing.
Yeah.
That looked very little.
Yes.
And yet Christ said, she given more than all of you.
That's it. That's it.
You look at Johannesburg. It started as one small town.
Yeah.
And now it's a huge city. You look at Samson's hair.
Yeah.
When it was cut by Delilah at one stage. It was so short and small.
Yes.
And yet, at that time, even when he was blind, the Bible says he killed more than in his entire life.
That's it.
So there's nothing wrong in starting small.
There's nothing wrong in starting small. It is safer to start small. That way you give yourself enough time to make the mistakes and to learn. Everything that we want to achieve in life so far, if you take the first step, you will be amazed
How far you can go.
how far you can go. A lot of times it's the hesitation, the fear. And I'll give you a very good example. It's about the hotel. This has been the biggest project we have ever done as a company. So we had two options. Oh, give it to some big shot to do for us. And I said, no, I will take it one day at a time. And I remember when we were in the foundation of this building, it was so deep. You have to take a ladder to go in,
And you took a ladder.
Yes, I did. And now I stood on the seventh floor, and I stood there and I said, "It is good to trust you, Lord, because if it had not been for you on our side, we would not be here." So that's why that dream because I know it is not by power or by might. I know it is not by my personal strength. With God, I am a majority. So we're not afraid to go the extra mile, to go as far as He will allow us to go.
I think fear
Yes.
is the one that holds us back
Yeah.
in achieving a lot for God.
Yes, it is.
If we can get rid of fear.
Yeah. And you said something here now. You said a lot for God. Sometimes we think that pursuing a career is a social thing. It isn't. As a child of God, it isn't. If we are successful, one, God is glorified.
Yes.
Secondly, you are able to give. Bible says it is more blessed to give than to receive. And a lot of times we testify, I got this, I got that. But he has said it. He said, it's better to give than to receive. Now, one thing that I can testify of in all that He has done for me is the ability to be able to give, and give powerfully, because I have become a channel because He first provided for me. You cannot blame someone that doesn't have 1 rand, that cannot give a rand. But it will be a tragedy if you have 1 million rands and you cannot give 10 rands. You understand? So succeeding is succeeding for God. Because then we are able to do greater things for His kingdom, greater things for humanity. My maid that works for me, her daughter, is in China, schooling in the university.
And is your maid?
Yes, my maid. She drives. She drives one of our cars.
I would love to have a maid who drives one day.
Yeah. And she never started driving. But it got to a point I could only employ her for 2 days. And now she's doing full time. And because God has blessed me with enough capacity, I am able to invest in her and help her. And that is the joy of being successful.
That's beautiful. There's a scripture which most of the pastors they use when they collect tithes.
Yes.
It says, will a man rob God?
Yeah.
And we use it as a tithe scripture.
Yes.
But that scripture does not only talk about tithes.
No, it doesn't.
It says, you have robbed me in tithes and
In offerings.
offerings.
Yes.
And the other time I sat down and looked into the scripture, I said, but God, how do we rob you in offering?
Yeah. It's a good question.
When every weekend, when I go to church, I give thousands and thousands of rands on one weekend. Then God said to me, as long as you don't give at your level,
Yes.
you are robbing me.
That's it.
As much as you have rightly said,
Yeah.
if you're a thousandaire
Yeah.
and you give some few hundreds,
Yes.
it's okay.
It's fine.
But if you're a millionaire and still give hundreds,
Yeah.
then you're robbing God.
Yes.
We all need to give at our level.
Yes.
But then let's look at persistence and perseverance. You have gone through that.
Yeah.
You are a beacon and a symbol of success.
Yes.
But at the same time, you are also a beacon and a symbol of someone who has gone through tough times. Take us through perseverance and persistence. What role does it play in business?
Everything. When you talk about perseverance and persistence, opportunity comes clothed in hard work.
Yeah.
Not giving up is a cliche a lot of us use. But the real meaning of persistence is to see where you are going and be willing to try several options
And
to
pay
get
the
there.
price.
And pay the price. There's a door in front of you. You try the key, it doesn't work. You give up. You can go under. You can go through the screws. You can try another way. That is persistence. That is persistence. It is not, it's not just trying the same thing consistently.
That will be foolishness.
That's it. Persistence actually is, you know the goal. but then you try other options. And that's why I tell a lot of my friends, if you're in a career today that you're not happy about, change it. Because most careers take 4, 3, 6, 7 years to do. A friend of mine 5 years ago, she was a mother. She wasn't doing too well. Then she went to law school. Today she's a lawyer. So time is one of the greatest things we have that we play with. And we keep doing the same thing constantly. We're not happy with our lives. But then we do not take that initiative to try something else.
You know, I've got a son at home.
Yeah.
My son used to make mistakes at night.
Okay.
You know, when he wakes up in the morning and the bed is wet, he will call that a mistake. I said, why is your bed made wet? I said, Daddy, it's a mistake. Every morning was a mistake.
Yeah.
Then I sat down. I said, my son, from today, you're no longer going to drink water after 5 o'clock. Because if you drink water after 5 o'clock, you're going to make a mistake.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And the other day, you know, he wanted water.
Yeah.
He said, Daddy, can I have water? I said, son, what time is it? He said, no, it's 5:05. I said, no, you can no longer have water.
Yeah.
It's after 5 o'clock.
That's it.
He stayed, he did his studies, homeworks and everything. Later on, I said, Daddy, can I have water? I said, but what time is it now? Past 6. No, it's way after 5 o'clock. You can't have water. You'll make a mistake.
Yeah, you'll make a mistake. And that's it.
You know, he was so reluctant. Then later on, around 7:30, you know, it's 8 o'clock, you must be in bed.
Okay.
So that you must be fresh for the class in the morning. He went to bed, and he was there in bed. Still, he wanted water. And I was in another room. And then he shouted at me, said, Daddy, I'm really thirsty.
Wow.
I need water. I said, no, it's even after 8 o'clock. And you should have been asleep by now. You say, son, next time you shout for water, I'll come and smack you.
That's it.
And I managed to keep him down with those words. But guess what? A few minutes later, he shouted, Daddy, when you come to smack me,
bring water.
Will you come with a glass of water?
He was thirsty.
That was persistence.
Yeah.
Then what do?
You give them the water.
I had to give him water with a big smile. I said, you can make as much mistake as you want today. That's persistence.
That's it. That's
you
persistence.
knock until the door is opened.
Yeah, that's it. Wow.
Viewers out there, I think we had a great time. We had fun today. But Felicia, if someone wants to get hold of you, how do they do that?
Well, you can get a hold of me at admin@bonnadizenhouse.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at Lisha Bonner.
And I am Charles Ngobeni, signing off. I'm also on www.charlesngobeni.com, on Instagram Charles_Ngobeni, or you may follow me or like me on Facebook as Charles Ngobeni. God bless you. See you next time, same channel, same time.